Hello, my name is Brian Cochran. Are you having a challenge with your sound? You have a volunteer staff that's running your sound, but they don't know what to do? Are you having feedback problems? Are you having mix problems where they're either too loud or too soft? Is it echoey in your building, in your sanctuary? Those are some of the problems that most engineers face, and if they don't know what they're doing, they don't know how to overcome it. So we have decided through much prayer and been doing it individually so far. Who am I? Again, my name is Brian Cochran, and I've been doing sound tech as a sound tech engineer for probably 40 years now, 35 years. And I got into church sound about 25 years ago. And one of the things that I found was that when I go do an install or an installation of some kind, then I would do training, that it would be the basic training of just how to get started, but then how to go further from there. And then what would happen is that sound person would leave because they're volunteers, and either they weren't appreciated. A lot of times pastors were hard on our sound people, forgetting that you want perfection, but they're not perfect because you've not taken them through the training, or they've not gotten the training in order for them to go to the next level and to be more proficient and become more of a professional. So what our goal is to help in that area, where through our VA Mogul Academy, we have a course that's called Church Sound 101. It's an introductory class to, mixing, understanding your room, understanding how to do microphones and how to EQ and the basic settings and basic setup of a system. In our Church Sound 101 course, we'll be going through mixing drums and how to EQ drums and how to set up the microphones for drums, because one of the things that we had to do here in this church, why you need plexiglass, do you need plexiglass in the church, what the methodology is behind that, and then if you don't need that, if it's a smaller church and you don't have that, sometimes you need to mic the drums and sometimes you don't. So for instance, if you're going to do live streaming, then you're going to need to have microphones to go to the stream mix, not necessarily in the house mix. And we'll be talking about that in that course, the difference between the two and why you need to do it. That's one of the things we're doing, is how to set up the drum sets for the house as well as in live streaming. In our Church Sound 101 course, we'll be also teaching on how to set up keyboards, your instruments, if it's your guitar, if it's your keyboards, as well as this church has an organ, how to even mic an organ. There's, just for instance, just one of the things we'll go through. There's on the over here. Let me turn it over this way. So excuse me. There we go. On this organ, it has something called a Leslie, and there's a low end and there's a high end. So how to get the best mix from that, we'll be talking about that as well. We'll also be getting into a little bit on the basics. Sorry about that. We'll be getting into personal monitors, inner monitors, regular monitors. These are personal monitors that are in-ears that you plug into earphones. We'll be going into that. So excuse the rawness of of this today. And then if you look here, over here, these are floor wedges. We'll be going into floor wedges as well. How to mic those, why you need floor wedges, as well as, if you look here, it's an omnidirectional microphone that we're using as well, and why we're using omnidirectional microphone for our stream mix. So those are the things, so a couple of things, as well as we'll be going through our Church Sound 101 course. In our Church 101 course, we'll be also going through how to set up your sound system. And so if you look back here, there's an amp rack. In this church, we went from, it started off as an analog snake, and that was the snake over here. And we'll talk about the difference between this snake and then this is a digital snake, which runs with the X32 Behringer board that's in front of the house, that a Cat 6, one little small Cat 6 line runs to here, and then all the instruments run into here. Then we have sub panels throughout the church, in the pulpit, on the platform, that we have in different areas. So that way it makes it easier, not running cables all over the place. We ran underneath the stage, and we'll go through the basics of that, not go in depth in that because most churches are not to this level yet. Most churches are just getting started. So we want to show you if you got an analog, if you got a board and you're trying to, you have a long area where if I found a lot of churches, for instance, will have a system and the board is right in the pulpit because they don't know anything about a snake. And so we'll go through what a snake is, the purpose of a snake, the placement of your sound booth. You have a sound booth. So that way, in setting up your church and going to the next level in your church, you'll know exactly what to do. So in our church one-on-one course, we'll be going through these things, and this is no one sees this. This is backstage. It's a neat mess, But anyway, we know where everything is marked and so forth, and so that way, what's here or on this snake is corresponding to the same thing up front of house, and we'll go into that in more detail, as well as the monitors and everything else. I ran through the digital snake that runs to the front of the house. So that's what we'll be going through as well through our church one-on-one course. And then we'll have other courses that we'll be adding later on. The 202 and 303 would be more into effects and internet streaming and all that kind of stuff as well. So I'm excited because what I would do individually now I can do in a group setting. We'll be recording all these and be also stream live as well, so for those that want to tune in, and they will record it, and then once we record it, it'll be part of our online course that a person could take. And then what we'll do is we have three locations now, working on our fourth throughout. I mean, we're in Southern California right now, and what our goal is once we train some folks and find other churches to work with, because again, our ministry is gospel worldwide, and we're a church equipping ministry where we help in the tech industry as well as in ministry development side as well. And so our goal is to have more locations across the country. That way what we'll do is we'll have the actual classwork can be done online, and then so that way in the comfort of your own home you can do it, or in your church you can go along with us as we do the practical steps of getting the basic and practical steps of getting started. And then we'll be having at our various locations here in Southern California to start, we'll be actually having hands-on training as well, so that we have a combination of online for those that are online and just need a quick start to get started and a quick understanding to do it that you can see over and over again. Faith come by hearing, hearing by the word of God. It's also faith come in and learning about your equipment by getting in and actually working it. This is a Behringer board, Behringer X32, which is probably one of the more popular low-end boards that are out there. So we'll be doing some we have a couple modules. One that's an analog, because a lot of the smaller churches have analog boards, so we'll be doing an analog course. Everybody go through the analog course, and they will have a separate training module just for digital boards. So from Personas, the low end, they're higher end boards, but once you learn the basics of a digital board, then pretty much they're all kind of standard. You just got to learn the little nuances of the difference between the various boards that are out there. But we'll be doing Personas and doing Behringer, because it seems like those two are the most in the churches that are on the lower end, and then there's higher end digital boards. But I don't want to get stuck on that. Basically, this course is for those who are aspiring, that want to go to the next level, and churches that want to teach, have their people come to learn how to mix, learn how to run the board, learn how to troubleshoot the basics of it, so that way they have a solid foundation. And then from there, if they want to take other courses, they'll be available as well. So this is Brian Cochran. Church, go to the link down below to more information. We have a group price that we decided to do. You have an individual price, and then we'll have a group price for a church. So the church will be able to send their deacons, whoever's going to be working the board. So like, for instance, Sunday morning you may have one person, but then during the week that sound person may not be available, and they want to have some type of meeting or so forth. You want to learn how to turn the board on, how to find whatever channels to do, whatever. They're welcome to come to do that as well. And they'll also be able to work the board. If they take the course, they'll be able to work the board as well. But the biggest thing is I've had churches, even the church I'm at right now, and this is one of the reasons why we're doing it, is because they have this building is set up kind of differently, where they have two stations for sound. One for, this is the front of house, which is here for inside the sanctuary, and then upstairs in the back there's another room for the audio person that does the live stream. Well, every church is not able to do that, but in this church they only have those two sound people that are part of the ministry right now. So if either one of them gets sick, then they don't have anybody else to run. I mean, I am, but I'm available. But at the same time, our goal is to train up some other folks within this church that when they can't show up, then they'll have somebody to at least stand in and get the basic mix and understand the basics of it, so they can get through the service, and then at the same time they can shadow and learn with a person that's in the church that knows what they're doing. So we'll be doing that here at the church Sound 101 course through BA Mogul Academy. So if you're interested, again, the contact information is down below. Give me a call. God bless you. Talk to you soon.